We got more breaking news coming in an unprovoked aggression. China has deployed an attack submarine in the Indian Ocean. Now, this Chinese submarine is a Yuan-class diesel electric attack submarine. This aggressive move by China comes a year after the Doklam standoff. The Indian Navy's anti-submarine warfare assets are keeping a close eye on the Chinese submarine. In fact, India detected this Chinese submarine and since then this submarine is being tracked. The Indian IL-38 long-range aircraft detected the Chinese submarine a few days back, and the Chinese submarine is being tracked by Indian Defence Forces as well. Joining us live with the big breaking news is my colleague Snehesh. Snehesh, is this a Chinese aggression that we are seeing in the Indian Ocean? What are the reasons that China has given for deploying this attack submarine in the Indian Ocean, and what's the real reason behind this deployment?
Well, Sumit, this is part of a greater flexing of muscles by China. Remember that China has been deploying the submarines as part of anti-piracy operations. Now, none other than the Navy chief himself, along with the then former Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, has raised red flags over the deployment of submarines for anti-piracy operations. It's anybody's guess how a submarine can actually be used for anti-piracy operations. Remember that it was way back in 2013 when China deployed its first submarine in the Indian Ocean. Now, what happens is that besides the submarine itself, there's a support ship of the submarine that sails along with it, to give the support that it needs. It maintains a distance from the submarine. At the same time, China in the past has also deployed the spy ships. Now, ideally, what happens is that the China also has made port calls to Sri Lanka and Karachi in the past, and this has been a matter of great concern to the Indian authorities, and they have red flagged this earlier also. Now, what happens is that when the Chinese ships are deployed, they do an underwater mapping. And why the underwater mapping is important is because the depth of the ocean, data among other things detail how current and noise behave at particular depth. The layer of the ocean floor are critical for submarine deployments. So what the Chinese are essentially doing is mapping the seabed of the Indian Ocean, seeing how far it can go, how much can the Indian satellites and the Indian naval assets can actually detect those submarines, and how they could operate in a more silent manner. So this is like a learning process for them that they're doing under the guise of anti-piracy operations. Back to you.
Okay, Snehesh, very quickly, one short answer from you. How is India seeing this, because it comes almost a year after the Doklam standoff?
Well, it has been, the submarine forays into the Indian Ocean has been a matter of concern. As I said, former Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar and the current Navy Chief himself, in an interview to Editor-in Chief Arnab Goswami, has red flagged the deployment of submarines. So it's a matter of concern, but the silver lining is that we are tracking every Chinese movement in the Indian Ocean.
All right, Snehesh, thank you so much for joining us with the big breaking news. India keeps tracking this Chinese submarine that China has deployed in the Indian Ocean.